Alright, we are continuing on the rational equations test review, page 30. We are going to look at how to graph. So we're looking at number 12 now, graphing. Alright, so first things first, I need to get my information. I'm going to factor both the numerator and the denominator. So the numerator is x plus 4, x minus 1. Denominator is x plus 5, x minus 1. Alright, so I know my domain is going to be x cannot be 1 or negative 5. And those are either holes or vertical asymptotes. My x minus 1, those cancel. So I am going to have a hole at the point 1, comma. In order to find the y value, I plug this back into my reduced. So I plug 1 over 4 and 1 plus 5. So that would be 5, 6. All right, so to find your hole after you get the x value of it, you sub it into the reduced equation, which is just that, and you solve. So my hole is at 5, 6. Okay. I'm going to have a vertical asymptote anywhere I don't have a hole from my denominator. So my vertical asymptote is going to be at x equals negative 5. All right. My x-intercept, well, that occurs when y equals 0. So I just set the numerator equal to 0. So x would be negative 4. So my x-intercept's at negative 4, 0. Find my y-intercept, I sub 0 in. And I plug 0 in, that's going to give me 4 over 5. Right. And then lastly, my horizontal asymptote, which we just found up above. My degrees are the same, right? They're both degree 2. So my horizontal asymptote is at the leading coefficients. Well, this is 1 and 1, so it's at y equals 1. All right. So now time just to put some of this information on. I'll do my horizontal asymptote at y equals 1. My vertical asymptote at x equals negative 5. I got a hole at 1, 5, 6. So I know that's just kind of below my horizontal because it's below 1. I'll plot my y-intercept is 0, 4/5. And I have an x-intercept of negative 4, 0. All right, so that's all I have. I have a lot of information down below, so I just need to connect my graph now. In order for this graph to work, right, I have to go through these points. So I know I have to go between here and here. I don't cross my horizontal asymptote at all on this graph. I'm going to give you the cross point if you were, but we don't here, so I know I can't cross, so this is just going to come straight down, hugging that asymptote. This one's just going to go across, hugging that asymptote. And then lastly, I just need to know what's going on to the left of it, so I'm just going to pick, hey, x equals negative 6, and I'm going to plug it in. That gives me negative 2 over negative 1, which is positive 2. So at negative 6, I'm at positive 2. And so now my graph is going to hug both of those. So that's A. B, actually, this is going to have an oblique asymptote. All right, that's because the numerator degree is 2, denominator degree is 1. This is one bigger, it's going to be an oblique, so we're not going to graph this one. And we're not going to ask you to graph one with an oblique asymptote on the test either. All right. So we're going to move down to C. I'm just going to kind of, this information is up above. So I'm going to factor out, first thing I'm going to look for a GCF here. I can pull out a 3x. I'm left over with x minus 1. The denominator I'm going to factor as x plus 4, x minus 3. So my domain, x can't equal negative 4 or 3. I don't have any holes because nothing cancels. So I don't have anything there. So that means that my vertical asymptotes are at x equals negative 4 and 3. my horizontal asymptote, well, this is degree 2, so it's at the ratio of leading coefficients, which is 3 over 1, or just at 3. And then to find my x-intercepts, I'm going to set the numerator equal to 0. So 0 equals 3x, x minus 1. I actually have to do the zero product property here. I'm going to have two potential x-intercepts. So I'm going to have 0 equals 3x, 0 equals x minus 1. So that means x equals 0 and x equals 1. So my x-intercept is 0, 0, and 1 comma 0. And lastly, to find my y-intercepts, I just set x equal to 0. As soon as I plug 0 in, 3 times 0, this numerator is going to be 0, which makes the whole thing 0. So my y-intercept is at 0 comma 0. All right. Now time to graph. So vertical asymptote at -4. At 3. Horizontal asymptote at +3. No holes, but I do have some vertical asymptotes. So, x-intercept, sorry. 0, 1. And that's kind of all the information I have. So, from here, there's a couple ways you can do it. You can start to pick points, or you could kind of understand the graph. So I'm telling you, we're not going to cross anymore. So I can't cross the horizontal asymptote at all. So since I had these 2 points, I know I'm not going to cross it. I know I'm just going to kind of, I'm just going to come up and come down. All right. I don't cross the horizontal asymptote, but I need to go through these 2 points, and I need to hug my vertical asymptotes as well. So it's going to look something like that. You could pick more points to get a little bit more strategic, but that's going to do the trick at the bare minimum. You can find your other 2. I'm just going to pick a point to both sides of these. I know I don't cross the horizontal asymptote, so I just need 1 point each. So I'm going to pick, hey, x equals +4. So that would be 3 times 4 times 4 minus 1. So that gives me 12 times 3 over 8 times -1. So that is 36 over -8. It's going to be a negative number. It's going to be about -4.5. So x equals 4, I'm way down here. All right, so I'm not going to cross my horizontal, so I know I have to look something like this. All right. And then lastly, to find the other one, I'm just going to pick a point to the other side now. I will pick, like, hey, let's say x equals -5. So 3 times -5, -5 minus 1 over -5 plus 4, -5 minus 3, and that marker is out. So this is -15 times -6 over -1 times -8. So that would be it's going to be positive. I'm going to help myself out here. I'm going to divide this by 2 and divide this by 2. So that's really 3 and 4. So that's 45 over 4. So that would be over 10. All right, so when I'm -5, I know I'm going to be above 10. I'm going to be somewhere up there. So since I don't cross my horizontal asymptote, I have enough information. I can just know I'm going to hug and hug. All right. And last but not least, here is D. So I'm going to factor this. I get x minus 3 over x minus 1 x plus 1. That means my domain, hey, x cannot be negative 1 or 1. All right. No hole, nothing cancels. All right, so I have vertical asymptotes at x equals negative 1 and x equals positive 1. All right, my horizontal asymptote, well, the degree here is 1, the degree in the denominator is 2. If the degree is bigger, I'm always just going to be at y equals 0. All right, so the denominator degree is bigger than the numerator, so I'm at y equals 0. My x-intercept, hey, that's when y equals 0, so I set the numerator equal to 0. 0 equals x minus 3, so x equals positive 3. And then my horizontal, or my y-intercept, that's when x equals 0. I plug 0 in, that would give me a negative 3 over negative 1 times 1, positive 3. So to plot these now, all right, so the only spot I'm going to cross my horizontal asymptote is right here. Okay, so I'm starting the middle graph, the middle section. I know I'm not going to cross. I have a point above the horizontal, so I need to stay above it because I can't cross. So I just go ahead and hug and hug. All right. Now, with this cross point, right, I need to pick a point to the left of it and to the right of it to see what's going on with my graph. Okay, so I'll pick x equals 2 and sub it in. So that'd be 2 minus 3 over 2 minus 1, 2 plus 1. That gives me negative 1 over 1 times 3. So negative 1/3. So at 2, I'm at negative 1/3. So I'm down there. Now I'm just going to pick a point to the right of that cross point to see, hey, do I bounce off it? Do I actually cross over it? So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll pick x equals 4. So this is 4 minus 3 over 4 minus 1, 4 plus 1. So that's positive 1 over 3 times 5. So 1/15. So I'm down here, but I do cross. So I know I am going to go through these points. I can't cross over the horizontal again. It's the only spot I can cross. So here I'm going to keep going down. I'm going to hug that vertical asymptote. Then I connect, I cross, and I don't keep going down just forever. I actually fall back down and hug the horizontal asymptote, but I stay above it. I won't cross it over again, so this right side of it is above 0 here, but I just hug it. All right. And lastly, I need a graph on the other side. So I'm going to pick, hey, x equals negative 2, and just see what happens. So negative 2 minus 3 over negative 2, negative 2 minus 1, negative 2 plus 1. So that gives me negative 5 over negative 3 times negative 1. That's negative 5/3. So that puts me down here. Negative 5/3. Somewhere about there. So now I'm just going to go ahead, draw this in. I know I don't cross. So I'm here and here. Oh, sorry, didn't get to see that drawing. Negative 5/3 here. Drawing my crossing here. All right, and that is number 12, A, C, and D, graphing rational equations.